What's happening, everyone? You're with me, Dave, on NZBlokes.co.nz, and it's Game of the Week time. We're taking a look at the recently released standalone expansion to Evolution Studios' 2014 Rough Diamond release of Driveclub with Driveclub Bikes. So, what's it like? Well, it's actually quite fun, but in a very arcadey style. One of the things that I do really like about this game, though, is the fact that it is a standalone expansion. That means you don't actually need the original game to be able to play this one. So if you're into your bike games, but only lukewarm on the car front, you can still enjoy this one without shelling out heaps of money. That's an immediate win in my book. Secondly, there's no denying that it's very pretty. Driveclub Bikes takes full advantage of the rendering power of the PS4, and the result is some beautifully rendered point-to-point courses and vistas. Being quite arcadey, it's also free to provide this without being constrained by the usual sets of circuits that you'd find in some of the more sim-focused games like MotoGP. There are a reasonable selection of bikes for you to unlock, and if you happen to own the original game, progress in either one of them unlocks benefits for both, which is actually quite a good approach to unlocks. However, it does feel that you have to put in quite some decent time before you manage to get your first set of unlocks on the bikes, and they've not got nearly as many bikes as they have cars. Handling wise, well, like I said, it's quite arcadey, so you're not going to be doing two-button braking. You're not going to be really sort of having to worry too much about when you start accelerating out of the lean-in on a corner. You just kind of get in there and throw it around. But that's no bad thing, particularly if, like me, you're not a bike gamer traditionally. Wheelies and stoppies are obviously nothing like they would be in real life, so not too worried about the balancing, but they're still fun to pull off. So I don't really have any problems there. I think that they've taken, like I say, quite a relaxed approach to the driving physics, but it works really well in the context of the game. Single player is a good way to get to grips with the tracks, and even though you'll have some pretty and interesting weather effects, you don't need to worry too much about the impact on the handling of the vehicles. Weather doesn't seem to impact how the bikes drive too much, but you still get the pretty shiny bits coming off of it, so I quite like that. There's the usual set of views from which to play the game, third person, bumper, all that, but I can't say that I was a fan of the first person ones. They kind of made me feel a bit motion sick, so I tend to stick to the third person views. One thing that I did have a bit of a problem with was finding some decent multiplayer lobbies. I'm not sure that there's a large enough community of players to support the online component long term. Time will tell, but I could only find a few matches to see how I fared against real world players, and that is one of the selling points of this game. All in, this is a surprising expansion from Evolution Studios. Their original game was considered to be good, but the online release tarnished that somewhat. Now that they've got a stable, if underutilized multiplayer platform in place, it's nice to see them take away the focus from cars and get behind the fans of two-wheel transportation. I'm going to rate this one 7 out of 10. It's a solid single-player expansion which stands on its own merits, but may have limited appeal due to underconsumed multiplayer and less overall interest outside of the biking community of gamers. Thanks for listening, blokes. This was Dave. What's up, everyone? Dave here. If you like our reviews or think we could improve them, don't forget to like, comment, favorite and subscribe to NZBlokes to get all the videos as they hit the big, bad interwebs.